Other than a major injury happening or something crazy happening, this could be the last week of quality waiver wire pickups, so pay attention. These are my waiver wire pickups for week 7 of fantasy football. What's going on, fantasy football fans? I'm your host, Hussein the Brain, and you're watching the couch. There are 4 teams on bye this week. Make sure you're not starting any players on these 4 teams: the Panthers, the Browns, the Steelers, and the Buccaneers. Quarterback waiver wire pickups. Why do I have Jared Goff number 1? Because people are rage dropping him. They're getting emotional and dropping him. Already thousands of fantasy owners have dropped him, even though almost all league settings don't allow you to drop players. Some people do like a free-for-all type of fantasy league where you can add and drop players at any given time, and in those type of leagues, Goff has already been dropped. I expect maybe 1 million fantasy owners to drop Goff, and here's your chance to pick him up going against the Falcons. This is going to be a huge bounce back game for Cooper Kupp and Jared Goff. The Falcons defense is atrocious. They're just not playing well when it comes to defending the pass, and it should be a high scoring super shootout. Both Matt Ryan and Goff should put up a ton of fantasy points. Shout out to the top 5 winners from our Fantasy Challenge Week 6 contest. Deck Dog, congratulations. You won first place. You get 100 MKF dollars, as well as an NFL jersey of your choice. Thank you guys so much for playing on Monkey Knife Fight. And this week, just like every other week, they have contests going on where you can play in the Thursday night games, the early Sunday games, the late Sunday games, and Monday Night Football. The contests are stupid, simple, easy to enter, easy to win, such as the over-under, where you just pick, oh, is this quarterback going over or under? And you just select these. My favorite contest, though, is going to be the touchdown dance. I love this one. All you got to do is pick 3 players that you think will score a touchdown and then select your goal. I like to select a goal that's low. It's easy to hit, and then you select the amount you want to enter and just submit. If your players score a touchdown, you get to dance. So head on over to monkeyknifefight.com, or better yet, just follow the link below in the description. When you deposit, use promo code COUCH. You'll get a 100% deposit match up to $50. Head on over to Monkey Knife Fight and use promo code COUCH. It really helps support the channel. Thank you guys so much. We have Josh Allen. This one's a super simple one right here. Going against the Dolphins, seems like everyone balls out no matter what position you're in, and Josh Allen has a pretty good ceiling this week and a decent floor. Dolphins are just a horrible team. They are tanking like none other. Then we have Daniel Jones, and it's going to be the opposite of what we saw week 6 Thursday Night Football, going against the Patriots. Probably the best defense in the league, best pass coverage in the league, and that was without Sterling Shepard, that was without Evan Ingram, without Saquon, without Gallman. Now he's going to have a lot of those weapons back. I'm fully expecting Saquon to be back, so I'd say 99.99% chance Saquon Barkley is going to be back. Seems like Evan Ingram's going to be back. Good chance Sterling Shepard's going to be back. And now they're facing the Cardinals. I guess the real only worry here is that Patrick Peterson is back from his 6-game suspension. He might be a little bit rusty, but that should help the Cardinals defense. Still high scoring game. Giants don't have great pass coverage, and neither do the Cardinals. So it should be a lot of passing yards in this game, Giants-Cardinals game. Then we have Jacoby Brissett going against the Texans. I like Jacoby Brissett this week. I think he's solid. Maybe not the best, maybe not the highest ceiling. I think his floor is okay. He's very trustworthy and should be good as a long-term ad. I do see Jacoby Brissett more as a high-end QB2 though than a QB1. Might have some tough matchups and a little bit tough to predict with this guy. If T.Y. Hilton's healthy, which he is, I like Brissett. But still, should they run the ball? Their defense is going to improve. Tough to stop the Texans. I'm just talking in general and for the future. But maybe you want to run the ball with Marlon Mack. That seems to be working. Sprinkle in a little bit of Nyheim Hines, sprinkle in a little bit of spice with Jordan Wilkins, and that's a winning formula for them. That's how they beat the Chiefs. Then we have Gardner Minshew going against the Bengals. Should be a good bounce back game for the mustache quarterback. Jimmy Garoppolo, who's neither super hot nor super cold. He's about lukewarm. Decent matchup against Washington. Their pass coverage is atrocious. Let's see what's going to happen. Maybe the Niners defense just completely wins this game and Garoppolo doesn't need to throw that much. That's been the case pretty much all year. But after that, he's got some pretty sweet matchups against the Jaguars, Dolphins, Giants, Washington, Raiders, Bengals, then Dolphins. I'm not making that up. That's exactly how it goes after this Week 7 Patriots matchup. It's pretty smooth sailings. I'm also stashing the Jets D. We'll get into that later, though. Kirk Cousins, is he good? Is he bad? To be honest, I don't really know yet. He's done really well against bad pass coverage defenses. Let's see how he'll do against the Lions. Lions D is decent, not an elite defense or anything like that, but they are okay. And then he faces Washington, which is a bad defense, then the Chiefs, which is a bad defense. So let's see what happens. I was kind of hoping this Chiefs game would be a shootout in a couple weeks, but it seems to be more of a Dalvin Cook type of game because teams have been running against the Chiefs and quite successfully. Then we have Andy Dalton going against the Jags. Is Jalen Ramsey going to play? My guess is no. Joe Flacco going against the Chiefs. And who are the Titans starting at quarterback? Will it be Mariota or will it be Ryan Tannehill? I don't know, 50-50, but we'll know soon for those of you in super deep leagues, dual quarterback leagues, and super flex leagues. For running backs, if you guys follow me on Twitter or Instagram, hopefully you saw that I was like, hey, go pick up Latavius Murray, go pick up Darrell Henderson, of course, Chase Edmonds, you should have added him, and I keep preaching about Alexander Madison. It's slim pickings at running back. It's the most scarce position. It always is, always has been. So it's a good idea to handcuff some players, even if you don't own them. Only really do this if you're not suffering from bye weeks or you have a bench with more than 5 bench spots. You're not going to be able to add, a guy like Benny Snell or whatever if you're not going to use him. So just wanted to put this out there. Jamal Williams has looked really good this last game, one game, but he did look really good Monday night against the Lions. He's only owned in 20% of leagues. He's definitely worth an add. And if anything were to happen to Aaron Jones, Jamal Williams would be an RB1. I'm not fully convinced that Kamara is 100% healthy. That's why I have Latavius here. Darrell Henderson did look better than Malcolm Brown. I think he's getting more acclimated to that offense. Only real worry here is if Gurley can stay healthy. And also if Darrell Henderson won't do that fumbling, mumbling. But he did mess up that pitch and put the ball on the ground. Chase Edmonds is doing some things, even with David Johnson in the lineup and balling. He had only 1 touch week 1, but then after that, he got 3 touches, 4, 6, 11, and 7. So 18 touches the last 2 games. Not saying like he's good or anything, but could be a good RB6 on your team. Alexander Madison is the handcuff to own. I keep saying it. And look, I know Dalvin Cook's been healthy and been balling, but we don't know that. We don't know what's going to happen. Sometimes you want to think ahead and stash a handcuff on your bench. Benny Snell, we know that James Conner was banged up. That's probably not even any type of serious injury, but he was questionable to return, and he did not return. Benny Snell was the lead back during that last game against the Chargers Sunday night, and we also know that Jalen Samuels is going to miss some significant time. Keep in mind, Benny Snell is on bye this week. Now we're getting into deep leagues. Mark Walton's been getting some touches for the Dolphins. Not a good matchup against the Bills this week, especially since the Bills are rested, ready to go, and playing at home in Buffalo. Brandon Bolden, if Rex Burkhead is out, then we have a J.D. McKissick. For wide receivers, I really didn't want to put Jamison Crowder on this list because it's so obvious. He's been an ad, the last few. He should have been owned pretty much this whole time. He's going to be the number 1 receiver for the Jets, an amazing receiver in PPR leagues, and we saw how Darnold really boosted this team. Taylor Gabriel, a bit sneaky here. People kind of forgot about him. I fully expect him to recover from that concussion and play against the Saints. Not a wide receiver you're ideally going to start, but Allen Robinson's been playing great and should get some attention from defenses. I'm speaking more in general terms and more in the future. Taylor Gabriel could be a good wide receiver 5 on your team. Robbie Anderson, don't want to start him this week. Same thing as Jamison Crowder. Both have terrible matchups. Patriots D is just super elite, but should be added now that Darnold is back. Until AJ Green comes back and maybe isn't traded away, Auden Tate has been very good, averaging nearly 12 fantasy points his last 4 games. Duke Williams, I want to see what this guy's about. Buffalo Bills wide receiver. Could be the number 1 wide receiver for the Bills. Could be a 0. And that's the type of risk I like to take. I like to stash. I added him off free agency in a couple leagues, including Couch Dynasty. Kind of excited about that to see what he can do. And for Patriots, yeah, we don't know what's going on. All right, with a Patriot running back, with a Patriot wide receiver, with a Patriot tight end, we pretty much have no clue what's going on. Dorsett's banged up, Josh Gordon's banged up. Both can come back. Who knows what's going on? But Jacoby Myers is good. Might be worth a stash and just to see what happens. Allen Lazard, man, this guy was playing pretty much perfect. After the Packers were struggling, had to make some changes and fumbling and misfiring and all this stuff, Allen Lazard started to play, and 4 receptions, 5 targets. Aaron Rodgers started to trust him. He had 65 yards and a touchdown. Why wouldn't he be the number 2 wide receiver for the Packers? Who knows? Maybe defenses will start game planning against him. Maybe the coach wants him to stay and be the number 5 wide receiver. I don't know. Kind of a risk, just like Duke Williams here, but he played very well. He's got a good matchup against the Raiders. You're not going to be starting him, but if you're in a deep league, could be worth a stash. Then we have N'Keal Harry. He started practicing today, which is Tuesday when I'm filming this. He's one of the likely Patriots to return from that IR designation. The earliest he would play is week 9. Then we have Albert Wilson, Deshaun Hamilton. Emmanuel Sanders is hurt. He probably, I'll say maybe will play Thursday Night Football. I'm going to give it a 50-50 because I really don't trust these reports. So Sanders might be out. Sanders might play. We don't know. It is Thursday Night Football. Deshaun Hamilton could be the number 2 receiver for the Broncos if Sanders is out. Going up against the Chiefs, it is a decent matchup and a sneaky start. Then we have Jaron Brown, who's been getting 4.5 targets on average the last 4 games. We're getting into super, super deep league territory, by the way, guys, here. Then we have Demaryius Thomas of the Jets. Revenge game, dare I say. He was on the Patriots for a few months. Then keep tabs on Amari Cooper and Randall Cobb's injuries. It's seeming like Amari Cooper will probably be out week 7. Randall Cobb, I don't know. I guess Randall Cobb has a higher chance of playing than Amari Cooper. We really don't know at this point. But if those 2 were to be out, look for Cedric Wilson, Devin Smith, and Tavon Austin, who has that dual position eligibility. Some leagues he can play running back or wide receiver or both. They're going up against the Eagles, and the Eagles have bad pass coverage. Lots of quantity at tight end, not a lot of quality. Well, at least we can be thankful. I like these top 5 actually right here. So Chris Herndon, I added him and stashed him like 4 weeks ago, and then he got hurt, which sucked because I had to start OJ Howard. But it is what it is. And he has a good chance to come back this week. I'd say over 50% chance to play week 7. And I'd say pretty much 100% chance he'll be back by week 8. Now, I'm just guessing. I'm just assuming. We don't know. He's questionable this week. He is week to week and has a hamstring injury. It's supposed to be a minor injury. Let's see what happens. Eric Ebron and Jack Doyle is basically tied right here, but I'd give the slight edge to Eric Ebron. He's more of the pass-catching tight end. Then we have Vernon Davis. If you're really struggling for a tight end, Vernon Davis in a revenge game against the Niners, well, he's questionable, but I expect him to play. Then we have Dawson Knox. This is a really sneaky pickup here. Sneaky pickup, sneaky star. I know a lot of people are going to be on Josh Allen, so why not Dawson Knox? He could be wide open on a couple plays and absolutely beast against the Dolphins. Just remember Lamar Jackson when he played the Dolphins and absolutely beasted. This can happen when Josh Allen plays in Buffalo against the tanking Dolphins. Then we have Tyler Eifert, Vance McDonald, who's on bye, but then he plays the Dolphins week 8. Noah Fant against the Chiefs Thursday night. Trey Burton. This is actually not bad. These top 9 tight ends, you might be able to get something off of them. And I don't trust a lot of them, but it could be worse. Okay, it really could be worse. Be kind of thankful. Be a little bit grateful that we do have some tight ends to add. Then we have Luke Wilson with Will Dissly is likely out for the year with that Achilles injury. Dallas Goedert out of Jordan Akins and Darren Fells. Flip a coin. Darren Fells has been doing better kind of and is getting more snaps. More, he's the touchdown type of tight end, but really I don't trust any tight end on the tight ends. Jordan Akins would be more of the pass catching tight end. Like I said, flip a coin. I guess I would go with Akins over Darren Fells. Then we have Mike Gesicki, Tyler Higbee, the other tight end for the Rams. Hayden Hurst, Foster Moreau, who's been getting some targets and snaps, probably due to the struggles the Raiders had at the receiver position. Ever since AB left, they made some cuts, they made some trades, they benched some players, they had some injuries, and so Foster Moreau pretty much becomes a receiver. His snap count's been getting more and more, and his targets have been getting more and more. Keep in mind, guys, we're in super duper deep league territory. Then we have CJ Uzomah, Ryan Izzo, Ben Watson's back with the Patriots. Ricky Seals-Jones is on bye, otherwise he'd be ranked higher. And we have Rhett Ellison in the off chance that Evan Ingram misses another game. Lots of great defenses to add this week. I really like the top 4 on this list, and that's the Bills going against the Dolphins. I just keep telling you guys to stash defenses if you can that are playing against the Dolphins. And the Bills D I have in 2 leagues out of the 7 leagues I'm in, and I did not drop them just because they were on bye last week. They're going against the Dolphins. They're projected to score the most fantasy points out of all defenses for week 7. An absolute must pick up and an absolute start regardless of your situation. I'm probably going to start, I am going to start the Bills D over the Patriots D this week. That's how much upside they have. Then we have the Niners going against Washington. People doubted the Niners, but now we know they are truly the real deal. How they absolutely obliterated the Rams, and Jared Goff put up like 1.6 fantasy points and did absolutely nothing. The Niners are the real deal, and this week they have a much better matchup than the Rams. Rams are still a decent team. Packers going against the Raiders. Love that. Packers are at home. And let's see if the Raiders are going to be good. My guess is Terrell Williams will play and be healthy, but if he's not, watch out, man, because the Packers secondary is going to be able to cover the Raiders pass attack. I mean, all you got to do is worry about Josh Jacobs and Waller, in my opinion, and the Terrell Williams situation will take care of itself. Going against the Packers D at home shouldn't be that big of a threat. Then we have the Jaguars D going against the Bengals. Titans going against the Chargers. Titans D is good. They just have to improve their offense, so it helps out their defense a bit. Lions D going against the Vikings. Should be a low-scoring game. Seahawks D going against the Ravens. I'm very curious for this game. We have Russell Wilson going against Lamar Jackson. Ravens D just traded for Marcus Peters. Don't know why. Let's see what happens. And I think this is a good test for the Seahawks defense. Can they play well against Lamar Jackson? I feel like the ceiling is okay, but the floor is really low. I don't know. Both quarterbacks are amazing. Both teams are fun to watch. Let's see what happens. Broncos offense isn't that great. They play in a lot of low-scoring games. They don't put up a ton of points. So Chiefs D is on here. Not saying, you got to go get them or anything like that. We're getting into deep league territory here. Then we have the Cowboys going against the Eagles. A little volatile game here. Eagles going against the Cowboys. Now, Cooper Kupp might be out. Cobb might be out. And week 6, both the left tackle for the Cowboys and right tackle were both out. I think that really allowed the Jets to get the win here week 6. So the Eagles D does get a boost. Still, I don't like the Eagles D going up against Dak regardless, because they just suck at defending the pass. Cardinals D going against the Giants. Now, keep in mind, we're in super duper deep league territory here. And guys, here is the Dolphins schedule. For those of you, I know some of you guys listen to me, but some weren't. I needed to do some more convincing. I want to lay it out for you. Nice and simple. Go start the Bills D, obviously. Bills play the Dolphins twice. Once this week, week 7, and then week 11. And then we have the Steelers D, week 8. Go stash them. Jets D, I've been stashing them for weeks. They play the Dolphins twice and have some great matchups. I showed you when I talked about Sam Darnold. Colts D, look, man, it's that good. These are the type of stashes, if you can. Look, if you have 5 bench spots and a bunch of players on bye, you're probably not going to be able to do this, especially if these may not even be available. I'm just putting it out there for a lot of you. It's going to be worth stashing some of these defenses, and you can double up. Like the Bills D, you can start just about any week. They're very good. Steelers D, not so bad anymore. They did okay against the Chargers, and now they face the Dolphins week 8. So here's the schedule. Go check out some of these defenses. It's going to be worth it. They're going to be good. Maybe even the Browns actually play well week 12. For kickers, I like a lot of kickers this week. And Robbie Gould, I feel like he's just so trustworthy, so good. I can start him just about any week, especially this game against Washington. He'll have a lot of opportunities, and it'll be due to the defense, mainly the D-line. They'll get the ball for them. They'll be in field goal range throughout the entire game, so a lot of extra point attempts, a lot of field goal attempts. And in the fourth quarter, you should be able to settle for a lot of field goals. Don't need to be playing catch-up or anything against the Washington. Josh Lambo, incredible matchup. Very talented kicker. Stephen Hauschka of the Bills. The only problem with this is it could be 5 out of 5 extra points, which kind of sucks. But still, that's a good floor. The ceiling, I don't know. Will the Bills settle for a lot of field goals? You run it up the gut with Singletary and Gore. Maybe you settle for 1 or 2 field goals. Even though the Dolphins haven't allowed a ton of fantasy points to opposing kickers, I still like Stephen Hauschka. Mason Crosby going against the Raiders. Jason Myers going against the Ravens. I feel like this could be all over the place. You can get 2 points from Jason Myers or maybe 15. I really do feel like he has that ceiling. Aldrich Roses, incredible kicker, incredible matchup against the Cardinals. Same thing with Kaimi Fairbairn. Not an ideal matchup, but just a talented kicker. Then we have Zane Gonzalez, the Cardinals kicker. Matt Prater, super talented kicker for the Lions. Matt Bryant, Mike Nugent, Brandon McManus, Adam Vinatieri, who could be ranked way higher. That's how many good kickers we have this week. Brett Maher, Jay Elliott, Dan Bailey, and Eddie Pinheiro to round off the list. I do actually read all the YouTube comments, so if you have a fantasy question for me, make sure you use hashtag AskTheBrain so I know you're real couch fam. Also use hashtag AskTheBrain on all the social media platforms so I know what's up. Make sure you guys follow the link below in the description. Head on over to Monkey Knife Fight and play some contest for week 7. Use promo code COUCH when you deposit. It also really helps support the channel. Make sure you guys are subscribed to this YouTube channel. We also have a second YouTube channel, Fantasy Couch Podcast. Make sure you subscribe to that as well. Hit this video with a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Thumbs down if you did not, and I'll catch you on the next video / live stream.